We're live.
Okay, so I was thinking about this last night, how the first time you and I ever met was actually in here, and it was at that table over there, and I was on a recruiting visit for volleyball. Yes, and I was like this little junior, I was really scared, and we were sitting with the team and we were eating lunch. But I remember you were sitting next to me, and you were just so welcoming and kind, and it made me feel even more comfortable, and it was part of what made me want to come here and play volleyball, because this whole university is just, you know, the family culture, family dynamic, and you play a huge part in that and played a huge part in me wanting to come here. And that's partly why you're so good at what you do. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what you do first and foremost, starting with SAAC.
Okay.
So you're the advisor of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what SAAC is and how it gets athletes involved in the community.
Yeah, so that was an unexpected role that came my way, and I love it and have just really, it has grown into one of my most favorite things. But SAAC is so much more than what people give it, I guess their first impression of it is. And so we do a ton of community service and community involvement and outreach, and I love that. But we also get to be a voice for the student athlete population for NCAA. So probably in 2 more weeks, we'll get to go over the new upcoming legislation and get to hear the kids' feedback on how does this legislation affect them as a student athlete. And they get to vote on that, and that pushes forward all the way up the chain to impact how NCAA moves forward in legislation. So that's a really cool piece of it as well.
You play a huge role on the leadership side of things and the mental performance side of things. And as a student athlete, those two are very, very important. Talk to me about what that looks like and what you do to help them on that side of things.
Yeah, to me, I think I've always had a heart for such the college age, because I know it's a season of learning and growing and figuring out who you are and who you want to become. And so creating that growth mindset is huge. So like, to me, again, this is the safe place to practice those things. So if you want to be able to have hard conversations in your workplace, if you want to be able to speak in a conference room, in a board meeting, whatever, those are the things, like, let's practice those now and grow you in those leadership qualities. And like, you know, I really feel like everyone has their own leadership style, and it doesn't mean you have to be the loud vocal one in the room to do that. And so we talk a lot about, like, what is your natural leadership style? And so we kind of go through a few different examples that I see in the athletic world. I kind of have like 4 different categories that I see those leadership styles, and I'm like, what's your natural tendencies? And like, so maybe for the first time they think about how they lead, or what does my leadership style look like? So that's really cool. But like, in my mind, the mental performance side of that, it's the third leg in the tripod. We have coaches that know their X's and O's extremely well that are getting them prepared. We have strength coaches in the weight room getting them prepared, and the trainers taking care of them in their rehab place. To me, that third leg is the mental performance side. So whether kids struggling with self-sabotage, or how do I handle the pressure, or doubt, or whatever it may be, it's a different something, or confidence, I hear that a lot. Those are just things we talk through a lot and get to the root of some of those thoughts, and like, how do we combat them? How do we respond to them? Because I would rather us respond than react sometimes. So yeah, it's really good, and I love to see that growth in them, and that developing, and like the light bulb clicking, and really getting to like, I can manage this situation. I can control the thoughts that go in my head and out of my mouth, or, you know, whatever it may be. So
what's the biggest tip to help improve mental performance, and something that you kind of reiterate to athletes often?
I really feel like self-awareness is the starting point for every bit of growth that you want in your life. So it doesn't matter what area you want to grow in your life, whether it's personal, professional, athletically, academically, like, self-awareness is that key. So for you to do some things that help reveal where you need to grow is huge. So I always think of it like one of those blooming onions. Like you're just going to peel back one more layer at a time. So when a kid may not be willing to quite say out loud or recognize what they're struggling with, if I can prompt with the right questions to start them connecting the dots, then to me that's where we're on the right path.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, oh, that light bulb comes on and it's like, oh, I do need a little help in this area. Okay, how do we navigate that then?
Well, you and I were talking yesterday that you've been here at WT for 5 separate decades.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that correct?
Apart, honey. Yes. Let's not make me that old. But yeah, so I came here as a student in 1989, and so I get to count the 80s. But then got my degree and my master's, finished my master's in 96, and then rolled right into an opportunity to coach, and have been here and moved into administration 7 years ago. And so, like, it really just hit me the other day because I was like, oh my gosh, I have been WT in 5 different decades.
Yes.
And like, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yes.
That makes me feel old, but like, there's no place I would rather be. This is my heart, or I wouldn't have stayed here so long. So, yeah, this is my second home.
Well, you were the head coach for the cross country team. I'm curious, do you miss coaching?
Okay, so I think that's a trick question. But like, to me, people have asked me that. And then in the season that I chose to move into administration, I had 2 girls in high school. And so to get that phase to be more of the mom role that I wanted to be was perfect timing. But like, I'll never wake up and see a beautiful sunrise and not go, ooh, it should be a good moment for a run right now, you know? So I love that. But the things that I love the most about coaching were the relationships that I could build with the kids and pour into them, and the competition side of what we did. There's just no, I tell people I'm an adrenaline junkie. Like, I love competition. It doesn't matter what sport it is. And so those 2 things, my favorite things, I got to carry over into my administrative job. And so I get to have those relationships and invest in kids, and I get to still be an adrenaline junkie too. So so it was a godsend in timing, you know, for my girls and my family and for me. But I love the role that I have now.
Now, do you still go on those occasional 5 a.m. runs?
Ooh, I may watch the occasional sunrise.
Okay.
So my knees said 35 years of running is enough, so it may be more to a walk, a brisk walk.
Yeah. Now, did you do any marathons? Run any?
Half marathons, but no marathons. Never had the desire for that. But
what's the training like for the half marathons?
Oh gosh, that's been 8 years ago since I've run one of those. But and that's something I had to educate myself on, because I've never been a high mileage person. Like 10 miles was like my middle toughness place, right? And I had to run more than that for that training. But I have a good friend in town that is an expert at marathons, and she's about to go run to Chicago in a couple weeks. Yes, she's run over 20 marathons. So I was like, hey friend, hook me up, tell me what to do. So she really helped me with that training, and of all places, we picked Luckenbach.
Okay.
I mean, like, how can you not go enjoy some, you know, Luckenbach, Texas, and have half marathon? So that was really fun.
Now, did she give you any secrets on how to preserve the knees? Because 20 marathons is a lot.
I know. She did tell me what she takes for her joints. So
Okay.
I have incorporated that into my vitamin regime.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to get onto some of those too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyways, yeah, lots of miles and lots of love on the road. Slow down my pace a little bit now.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
Absolutely.
today. I appreciate it. And let's
you.
cheers to a
Okay.
good school year.
Sounds great.
Cheers.